to the so let's talk a little bit about football, the other football, right?
Yes, the real football,
in the States, the most
apparently.
important football, which is the NFL. Recently, San Francisco 49. Some people are saying that Kyle Shanahan decided to give it to us again, the same way that he didn't give us the Super Bowl win. The NFL draft is coming up pretty soon. It's going to be after so we're recording March 31st, so effective tomorrow, this month. The NFL draft will be happening, and so the San Francisco 49ers, you know what place they went from? I know they went to number 3.
I think they were 9 before, and
they went to number 3 by doing some trades with Miami. By the way,
yeah, I want to get the trade in front of me so I can.
Yeah, it's a crazy trade because technically the San Francisco 49ers are going all in. So there is no way, because at first when I saw that they traded with Miami, I was like, okay, they're going to go after Sewell so they can protect their quarterback, right? But then when I saw that they gave away, what was it, 2 number 1 picks?
I'll tell you what it is. So Dolphins trading number 3 overall pick to San Francisco 49ers for the number 12, not number 9, for the number 12 pick, a 2021 third round pick, SF's comp pick for Robert Saleh hiring. Oh, did they get Saleh from Miami? Oh, okay. So San Francisco's comp pick for Robert Saleh hiring and first round.
No, Robert Saleh is the head coach of the New York Jets. So remember, the NFL provides a compensatory pick if a minority, whatever. So whether he's an assistant coach or what becomes an executive or becomes a head coach.
I see. So I guess they got a comp pick because they helped Saleh get there. Okay.
Yeah, because he went from San Francisco to the New York Jets as the head coach, from DC to head coach. So they get a third, the same way that the New Orleans Saints get a third round pick because we promoted Terry Fontenot to GM, and he's an African American. So it's for minority.
Like the Rooney Rule sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. So they had a third round pick for the Saleh hiring. They're giving that third round pick to the Dolphins along with their 12. Along with their number 12 pick, and 2 first round picks in 2022 and 2023, all to move up to the 3rd pick in the draft.
So they're definitely going QB. There's no way you do all that and not go QB, which is just, to me, it doesn't affect the Falcons. For me, I don't think it really affects the thing that it affects is other teams that might want to trade up, right? So to get hopefully, I think so. The question that we were going to have today during this segment was, how does this affect the Falcons, right?
Yes.
I'm of the assumption that what might happen, there's 2 possibilities that'll happen. The Falcons will stay where they are because the way they're projecting it, that even though I don't think they're going to go for Justin Fields, or at least I think that they should go for Sewell. We still can get a court because they're so what they're projecting is obviously Trevor Lawrence is out. He's number 1 overall.
Yeah.
And then I think they said that the San Francisco 49ers want Trey Lance.
No, I haven't heard that.
Is it who's the other guy?
I've heard them say Mac Jones, which I think is ridiculous.
Mac Jones.
And I've heard them say Justin Fields, but I haven't heard them say Trey Lance.
So what some people are saying is that, or at least this is what some people might predict, some people being me, is this will really affect teams like the Carolina Panthers, who, by the way, cannot trade us because there's no way that there's never I've never heard of where a division team trades within the division, right? Yeah. So what could happen is a team like the Broncos could leapfrog them, right, to get a quarterback because they need a quarterback.
I'm going to look at the 2021.
Even though people are huge into Drew Lock, I don't think they're all in on Drew Lock. But there's other teams that are quarterback needy, right? Like who are in the middle of the draft that they could always trade with the Falcons. I think we should honestly, if Sewell is gone, trade back, get a bunch of picks, and then and then do the best player after that.
Okay, I don't see Sewell being gone by the 4th pick.
You think it's going to be first 3 is going to be quarterbacks?
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be QB. So we got Jacksonville, New York, and now San Francisco. I think you're completely right. You don't go up to number 3, give all that away to not pick a quarterback. Yeah. I do think it affects the Falcons because with prior to this move, number 3 was Miami, and we had talked about, well, people are saying that Miami isn't all the way happy with Tua, so they could pick a quarterback. But that was always like a 50-50 thing because they really do already have a quarterback that they just picked recently. But now that they're gone and they put in San Francisco, and we know that they're a little shaky on Garoppolo, I think they're definitely going to take a quarterback. And because of that, I think it actually makes it easier for the Falcons to pick Sewell, like you said, because let's assume the top 3 are Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Fields, right?
Or Mac Jones.
I don't see Mac Jones being up there. I know people are high on Mac Jones, but he had so many weapons around him. Alabama always does.
So does that change it? So let's just say the first 3, Justin Fields gets taken off the bench, right?
Yes.
What do you think the Falcons do in that case?
Yeah. So I was saying, like, if it was only 2 of those 3 gone, the Falcons might pick one of those quarterbacks, just because you can't be that high and then leave like a generational quarterback, as some people are saying, on the draft board. But I think with all 3 of them gone, I think it actually makes the Falcons' job easier. And if they're really high on Sewell, they'll pick him. Otherwise, they'll go down in the draft. So my guess actually is that they're going to trade back.
A lot of people are saying they might go tight end with Pitts because he's kind of like, is he? I don't know if he's that great.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things, but I mean, Hurst is all right. Like, he does his job. Hurst wasn't a bad tight end. It wasn't Toilolo, right? So
like that.
Nah, I wasn't a fan of Levine. So I actually think, like, if I were to bet money in it, I actually think the Falcons would trade away their number 4 pick.
Yeah.
For more picks. I think if they really want to get a quarterback, I think lower in the draft, they'll be able to get a Trey Lance or Mac Jones. Yeah, gotcha. I don't see them going 4 quarterbacks straight away. Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Jones. Nah, I don't see that. And I think Trey Lance actually is going to go higher than Mac Jones.
And we also got to remember that the Falcons basically locked in Matt Ryan for 2 years. He's locked in, basically,
because
the way that they
restructure.
He's going to get, unless they decide to finally do, which I'm like, I don't know why they haven't done this. I'm assuming it's Matt Ryan's agent, which is do an extension for, add another 2 years to spread out the money, plus give him more money at the same time, right? Just to spread out, because then that way it just alleviates, because he's going to have in 2022, he's going to have $40 million against the cap. That's just crazy, right? So you answered what would happen if Justin Fields were gone. What if they were to go for a Mac Jones instead?
Who, Falcons or the Niners?
Let's just say Fields is still on the clock. He's still on the board.
That is going to be rough, because I know the Falcons front office, I know they're not blind. I know that they've been hearing everybody talk about Fields in Atlanta forever. And then, the fact that, people feel like, he went to Georgia, he wasn't given a fair shot. That's always going to ring in people's heads. I think it helps that we have a black GM, so they can't say that it's a race-based thing. But there's no way that Fields is still on the table, and they're like, no, we're going to trade away our pick. I think people would be livid.
I think, though, the Stefano would be like, y'all can be mad.
Yeah, I don't care if you're mad. Maybe.
Y'all can be mad. I'm trying to build he says best, so he might not think that he's the best player available. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. He might be like, no, I really have this other guy here that I can get at the, let's just say I trade back to the 8th spot with somebody, although I think Carolina might be 8, so we're not going to do that. But say you trade back a little bit and be like, I know my guy is still going to be here. I'm going to get some more picks for the future. You know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, between Fields, Lance, and Jones, from what I've heard and from the clips I've seen, Fields had the best pro day. So, I mean, that helps his stock a little more. But yeah, if I were to guess, I'd say that the Falcons are going to trade away their 4th pick to get something lower, to get more picks and all that stuff. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I just can't wait for the draft to happen. Only because that just means we're a few steps closer to actual football games, and hopefully have a good year because these last 3 have been horrid.
Before we get off of football, what are your thoughts on the 17th game? Apparently, the Bears voted against it, but do you like having another game or not? And if so, why? If not,
I would actually like it if they actually eliminate. So I think me and you discussed this, where I said, what would you think if they did, instead of having 3 or 4 preseason games, they only had 2 preseason games. That way they could add another. They don't really have to mess up the the schedule. Because now instead of it ending on is it now ending on New Year's, or is it now starting earlier?
I don't know, but we do know some seasons have crossed over into the first week of January, like the very so not the first full week, but the one that's
that kind of changes it, because also they don't want to push the Super Bowl too far back because they love going to New Orleans, and that would affect Mardi Gras. Because Mardi Gras always happens around. So you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. My thing would have been, I would have enjoyed the 17th game. I'm glad it's the 17th game. It's also an AFC team, so you get to see a team that you don't normally get to see. You'll get to see same teams more often. Like this year, you're going to have
Jags, I think. Is it the Jags?
We're going to have the Jaguars. So that's because we sucked and they suck. So that's why it's not going to be that interesting. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Green Bay is playing they're playing Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure. I got it right here. They're gonna play. Yeah, Kansas City. So we would have to wait a lot longer for us to play against Mahomes. For them to play against Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers with Mahomes. Now you get to see it.
Yeah. For me, I mean, as a fan, I like it, right? Because you always want more football, and you always want your team to have more chances to make the playoffs. But then that's also your team having more chances to screw themselves out of the playoff position. Yeah. But I've read some of the complaints from some of the players, and they make sense, right? And I guess it's also potentially a complaint against reducing preseason games, and that's the fact that they're saying that we see so many players getting injured during a 16-game season because it's basically back to back to back with one bye week somewhere in there, and they get really stretched out. Yeah. And to now add another game to that, you're only caring about the bottom line. You're not caring about the safety of the players. So
that's why I said what I think it should be is you allow scrimmages to happen before preseason so you could see your third stringers, your fourth stringers, the guys who are on the cusp that you want to see more of them. And then that way in the preseason, you actually do get to have the practices, right? The basically the live practices to see how your team is going to do. Because all that's going to do is it'll be the same as this year. Remember, a lot of teams didn't really get going into like the 4th game anyways. So if they eliminate 2 preseason games, only have 2 preseason games, start it the week before Labor Day weekend, and basically start the season on a Thursday, Friday. This is what I think it'd be awesome. Have the one right before Labor Day, or I think Labor Day weekend itself, right? Because NFL starts after Labor Day.
NFL always starts 3 days after Labor Day.
So if you started before Labor Day weekend and basically make it a weekend kickoff, right? Thursday night you have a game, Friday night you have a game, Saturday night you have a game, because it doesn't interfere with any other. No, it doesn't interfere with any other of the of football, because college football might have to. That's some other things.
That is the biggest reason why they don't do Saturday games during the season, because it's college football.
During the season. But remember, I'm talking about before September. This isn't, because they have to either start it in August, or they have to start it. They have to end in the middle of
college football starts a week before NFL. It would have already started. College football starts the weekend. Friday, yeah, college football starts the weekend before Labor Day, whereas football starts that Thursday following.
All right, then let's do Thursday, Friday, Sunday, right? And then you call it the weekend. And then what I'm saying is to answer your injury question, need 2 weeks of a bye, right?
Okay.
2 bye weeks, and also make it where you have a bye immediately, either before definitely have one of your byes before a Thursday night football game.
Okay.
So that way you literally are not going to be playing on a Sunday and then a Thursday. Instead, you have a week off, You play Thursday night. Then you have another. So basically, players will have more rest, less injuries, and a lot more opportunities for players to actually play.
You should always have your bye with the team that you're playing Thursday night football with. Then.
Or that too, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
2 buys, honestly, I think would really help. So yeah. But other than that, I mean, it's more football. I get to watch 17 weeks of,
I mean, as a fan, we always want more football, right? Just the players aren't.
And the formula is going to be back and forth. So the home team is the AFC teams this year, and then next year the NFC teams will be the home team. So next year the Falcons will have 1 extra home game.
Got it. All right, cool. That's it for our sports section.